welcome to Uffsides, episode 20. This is the NFL show that everybody needs to be listening to. Joining me today is Nick Stevens, friend of the show, friend of SB Nation. Good to see you today, sir. How are you?
Good to be here in the studio. I'm feeling very Uffsides.
Yeah, we've had you a lot recently.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that it's important because what's more important than Deion Jordan or a top draft pick or an NFL coach? I'd rather just have good old talk.
Yeah.
Good old talk.
Some chummy gridiron talk with somebody you could relate to, whether you were actually watching a game or hanging out in the 365-day-a-year love of life that is being a football fan. Or you could have somebody who is trying to groom and style themselves for a talking head job on a 4 o'clock show on a network not named ESPN later.
That's right. This is important. We do release this as a podcast. You can get this in video or audio form. But man, could you imagine only audio, missing out on these two beautiful hunks of men?
Yeah. Oof. I mean, we've got.
We should also point that there's construction going on next door. So if you hear something that sounds like a long, low fart, that's the drilling happening next door.
I had Mexican in advance, so sorry for letting you guys know. There's a lot of handsome Brooklyn in this room right now.
There is. Speaking of Mexican,
yes,
Chip Kelly.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Well done.
I'm a professional.
This is not your first rodeo, is it?
No,
there,
it is
friend?
not. This is the 20th Uffsides rodeo now.
Very well done.
Yeah, almost every week.
Almost
every week we do this.
Almost. What happens when you're not bi-weekly, but you're also not weekly? Is there a term for that?
Well, let's see. Semi-weekly would actually be twice a week, wouldn't it?
Yes, semi-weekly would be every other week, and bi-week.
I think kind of weekly is the actual official term. Chip Kelly,
nice.
Banned Taco Tuesdays at Eagles practice. They're having their OTAs. Mm-hmm. Also, Fast Food Fridays. No more. Very popular under Andy Reid's regime. 14 years.
Insert your own Andy Reid joke there.
You've got feelings. You're angry about this.
I think that's a steaming load of Chip Kelly BS. You can't. Okay. What is football? In its very essence, football is a series of controlled, man-centric car crashes that happen on a repeated basis. You are throwing yourselves to the veritable lions again and again and again. You're just getting mauled and mutilated on a regular basis. Life sucks enough as it is. We have very few things to look forward to. First, they take Angelina Jolie's boobs.
Oh,
and
man.
now, she gets a double mastectomy, and now we can't have Taco Tuesday anymore. No more Taco Tuesday. We've got so little to look forward to after just getting pounded and hammered all day. Can't a man just look forward to a couple of tacos at the end of it all?
They can still go home at night and have tacos. It's just not being provided by the Eagles anymore. And while they're getting ready for those 4-second car crashes every day, Chip Kelly's making them performance machines.
Right.
Giving them roll bars, reinforcing the skeletons. Mm-hmm. He's making them stronger machines.
Did you? He is a. We can make it faster. We can make them stronger.
Yes.
So he's $6 million manning his super team, right?
I think he should.
He's bioengineering an NFL East super squad that's guaranteed to finish third. And if you see those pictures,
there are no guarantees in the National Football League
because on any given Sunday, that's why they play the games.
Indeed.
The idea that now he's dietarily educating his team by have you seen the pictures of the different stations throughout their cafeteria?
Oh yes. I should have pulled those for this, but it's like be a performance machine or whatever like that. Yeah.
And there's stations, and they have pictures of avocados and almonds and flaxseed. And it says healthy oils, so healthy fats, so you can learn how to sustain energy and recuperate better. They don't care. They don't care.
They're professionals. Maybe they do.
First of all, do you find there to be just a little bit of hypocrisy with a guy who looks like Chip Kelly telling you how you can eat on a regular basis?
Chip Kelly, think of him like Krang. All right, he's got the big, massive, unwieldy body, but what really matters is the thoughts emanating from that brain. His body is an imperfect vehicle for the 1,000-pound brain that he's carrying around.
Right, but he's just. He strikes me as
he looks like a man who enjoys his own tacos.
He does. Yes. He strikes me as the kind of guy who is not unfamiliar to a Taco Tuesday. Fast Food Friday, I completely understand getting rid of Fast Food Friday because the only thing that possibly could be worse for you than getting pancaked by a 350-pound man is eating a bag of McGriddles. There's a very good chance that one is actually worse for your body than the other. But it's Taco Tuesday. I mean, just think in name alone, like, oh man, I can't believe Chip Kelly made me run around. He made me do laps to Kanye over and over again, and then he turned on Van Halen, and my life is just a never-ending parade of terrible music and physical pain. But at least I've got Taco Tuesday to look forward to.
I'm with you on that. Let's talk about these music selections for a moment. Rembert Brown of Grantland put together a Spotify playlist of the songs that Kelly put out, played during OTAs. And we've got Panama of Van Halen.
Classic.
Hungry Like the Wolf, Duran Duran. It's basically a combination of some 80s pop and hair music, hair metal.
New wave?
New wave.
Yeah.
We got some new wave. There's some mainstream hip hop. We got some Kanye.
Right.
And some pretty synth heavy club music as well.
It's like he put the Philadelphia Eagles, like he basically took all the people here that do the SB Nation video work, whatever that video department is at the Philadelphia Eagles, and he put them to work, and they basically grabbed his iPod and they grabbed an 80s new wave playlist, and then somebody stumbled across a playlist for an episode of Jersey Shore that they thought was really funny where Ronnie and Sammy fought, and they fused the three of them together into this super list that Chip Kelly thinks, or rather actually professes to having a science to, that makes them physically better. I
actually want to read this quote that he said. Well, actually, first of all, let's finish talking about the playlist because it has "Stronger" by Kanye West, great song. Black Betty, Ram Jam's Black Betty.
Oh, Black Betty,
kind of fantastic. Rock You Like a Hurricane. Thank you. Yes, always. I'm Shipping Up to Boston. Dropkick Murphys.
Where does that come from?
He's a New England guy.
Oh, he's a New Hampshire guy. That's right.
Yeah. They listen to that a lot up there.
He was kind of excited for Game 7 Bruins Leafs last night.
I would say so. What absolutely shocked me was Hadaway's "What Is Love." He actually played that during an NFL practice.
And he's got everybody from Matt Barkley to LaShawn McCoy to Sean Jackson. Well, half of them are bopping and weaving because they were fans of the sketch, and the other half of them are just like, how many more months of this blank do I got to put up with?
And so the quote that we were talking about, he says there's science behind it. Asked to explain the value of the music, Kelly said, "There's a lot of science behind it, but I've got 12 minutes left in this news conference, so I can't really get into the details of it. But there's some science behind it. We've used it for a while."
Translation: go blank yourself. I'm Chip Kelly, and you're not.
Yeah, that's from phillyburbs.com, by the way, that quote.
Do you think Bill Belichick would entertain such a question at one of his press conferences?
I don't think Bill Belichick can hear music. I don't think he understands what purpose music could possibly serve.
Well, I mean, Bill Belichick's his iPod is all Bon Jovi.
No, his iPod is all just children crying. Childrencrying.mp3.
Children crying. Are you sure it's not I would think Belichick would know to have it as an AIFF just for higher audio quality.
It's just the sounds from inside a slaughterhouse.
Or just like whatever it is.
Lulls him to sleep every night.
Tell me more about the lambs screaming, Clarice. Belichick can't hear anything because he's always just sitting by that window writing with his, drawing plays with his grease pencil, the creepy, beautiful mind that he is. I love that you think that he listens to children crying in a slaughterhouse at night. He is evil.
Yes.
He's very evil, I know. Is Chip Kelly evil?
Maybe. I feel like he's not so much evil as he's a little bit unfeeling. Mm-hmm. He is Belichick-esque in his desire to just put points on the board and win football games and find new ways to wreak havoc upon opposing squads.
So he's not quite yet sinister, but he's not emotionless.
Any man who listens to Hadaway's "What Is Love" does not have sinister fully built into him. Yes, unless he's doing it just to cause pain.
Right. Any man who still in this day and age can actually listen to "We Will Rock You" unironically. We're so many light years past being able to play that song and actually get excited by it.
Yes.
They don't even play it in sports stadiums, or it's not anthemic anymore. It's like it's done.
Yeah. Well, they still play it in sports stadium. Have you been watching the NBA playoffs at all? There's still some, like San Antonio Arena, Chicago Arena. They still play some really lousy music.
It's San Antonio.
Yeah. That's
How
true.
are they like one of the top 10 population-wise cities, and not a single thing cutting edge, interesting, or important has ever come out of that city?
San Antonio's not top 10. Not at all.
It's huge.
Mm,
Top 10 media market.
Really?
Yeah, it's like number 7. Would you ever guess that?
No. I just straight up thought you were wrong.
I am wrong on an often, frequent, and regular basis. San Antonio's
No,
massive.
that's impossible.
Nick Stevens, get out of here with your lying lies.
You're making stuff up.
You're telling fictional tales of fiction just to be funny on the podcast/video program. No, it's huge. But what has ever come from San? I know we're getting off track on the football, but please tweet me at Ahoy Nick Stevens or at Matt Alford. What has ever come from San Antonio?
I mean, besides the Spurs team, that's really I'm at a loss for words.
And the phrase "spent the afternoon on the Riverwalk."
Yeah,
Just look at the reaction it promoted from you.
the Riverwalk is like something everybody talks about, and it's just crap.
It's just garbage.
It's garbage.
It's just the Gowanus Canal in the heat.
Basically, yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah, shall we?
Last week on the show, we had Spencer Hall, editorial director of SBNation.com.
Yes.
Every day should be Saturday. He and I talked about NFL versus college football, kind of like the different pluses and minuses of each. And yesterday, he rocked some boats by publishing an article entitled, Why Does the NFL Make for Such Bad Media?
I saw.
And the crux of it is that basically NFL reporters tend to focus on business transactions. They take GMs and owners at their word, and it's players are encouraged to say be bland. And this is kind of the crux of it. He says it's less writing about football than business reporting that smells like filthy jockstrap, and it carries the same vernacular of confidence games, tautological assumptions of confidence, and backroom rumor leakage. And like business reporting, it rarely sees fit to correct itself, even in the face of mounting evidence that someone, despite holding a title and a position of importance, might be utterly and evidentially incompetent. There is not an NFL studio crew commentary that doesn't start a discussion of a coach without mentioning what a good man he is. There is not a GM who doesn't get it. And I tend to agree with this because I've seen such lively online commentary about college football, about the NBA, really lively, fun. The NBA on TNT is a great, fun studio show.
Right.
There's nothing like that in the NFL. It's all very, very serious, and everything is such a serious conversation. There's so little. There are very few outlets where the NFL is talked about in a fun and engaging manner, outside of Uffsides, of course.
I was going to say, well done. I like that you played all 3 cameras in that one, too.
Oh, I did.
Not to get into the self-congratulatory back-patting association, but the true fun I would think, for fans and people that live, eat, sleep, and breathe NFL is in rooms like this, on podcasts and shows like this, or places where you have to operate outside of the law, not above or below, outside of the law, because the law is Goodell in I know it's hackneyed and overdone to death, but it's the no fun league. I can't tell you, and here I am, but just like one dude who makes half of a living trying to talk football and making sports funnies on the infrequent and every now and then. I can't tell you how many times I've been involved with a project, a web-based show, sometimes radio, more often than not a TV pitch, and you get all the way up to just being ready for pilot or going to series, and then it gets shot down because either the production company or the network itself lives in fear of upsetting Roger Goodell by being too irreverent or taking shots at the league, and then they lose access, and you're done. They will shut you out of that party if you come in and make fun of the house. Do not say anything about the house or the people that own it. You can come inside and enjoy the party. You say one thing about it, you're out. You'll never come back.
That blows my mind. That's crazy to me. Like, it's sad that the only people that have fun with the NFL in a mainstream capacity, Frank Caliendo, Rob Riggle, that's what we have. That's what's given to the masses as humor about the NFL.
It is. It's offered to them. Frank Caliendo and Rob Riggle.
And I like Rob Riggle until the CBS or Fox. I don't even, Fox.
He replaced Caliendo.
Yeah.
That was just like James Brown jumping from Fox to CBS. It was like a lateral movement of unfunniness.
Well, the thing is, all the studio shows are essentially the same. Like they're completely they're completely the same. I can't tell the difference between them. I mean, I guess I know that Boomer Esiason's on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know James Brown. He's on Fox, I think.
CBS.
Oh, see, yeah, I don't know. It's
Replaced by Kurt Menefee.
Kurt Menefee. The interchangeable cogs, because it's all just people in suits talking at me and saying who gets it, and having pointless battles.
And now here comes the part of the show where we'll show you people hitting each other hard, and we'll make noises and put a word like jack or smash or crank on screen.
Yeah.
You literally, I think I would more enjoy watching a pregame show just for irony's sake, called Generic Pregame Show. And it literally is just like, hi, I'm studio host, joined alongside, as always, by former coach who won a Super Bowl only once he drafted a decent running back, wide receiver who's been arrested 3 times, but not like Titus Young in consecutive days, and, of course, former quarterback who cheated on his wife and has a glove endorsement deal. And now let's talk about hits. And like you could just, there's a script to follow. It's the same show on every network. Why not have a pregame show full of guys eating wings and drinking beer, talking football the same way, everyone else does?
I've said this so many times, I am consistently amazed that people have to wear suits to talk about sports.
Why?
I have no idea.
You've probably been to some serious sports seminars, maybe an awards banquet or two. Look, this is getting dressed up for you. This is the nicest shirt I own. This is the nicest outfit I own. I'm sorry, it's just the way that we live and operate.
And it doesn't even cover your back. It just attaches to clips.
It's like one of those. I can just take it off right now and slip it out. It's like everything is tearaway NBA style. It's almost like why you have to wear suits and why you have to dress a certain way to be respected as part of the sports media.
Yeah.
It's like the entire sports media also fears the blogs because some people go off the rails, but a lot of people tell the truth out there in the interweb and the blogosphere. And there's this movement towards people being funnier and more honest in broadcast. But the establishment just doesn't want it. They feed us the same pablum every single week, and it's so digestible. I'm surprised you even watch the pregame shows.
I don't actually.
Yeah.
I just see people complaining about it on Twitter. At 1 o'clock, that's when I turn the games on. I don't watch a single second of preview if I can help it, because what am I going to get? The best I'm going to get in terms of X's and O's breakdown, with the exception of Ron Jaworski, who does a pretty good job of it. John Gruden occasionally does it on Monday Night Football. But it's like, here's our X's and O's breakdowns. Guys, we're taking off the jackets for this. Roll up the sleeves. We're going to stand on a 10-yard miniature football field and throw the ball to each other. And that's the X's and O's breakdowns. Like, really, with the graphic, the graphics that you're capable of doing, just make X's and O's. Make the game more accessible to the fans.
Now, excitable former coach is going to take the football. Now, he's going to throw it to concussed previous linebacker who's more articulate on camera than you would think. Offensive lineman who has a grudge against that guy is going to run the out route. and then, of course, running back who can't remember his own name, who's probably going to get fired in 3 months because he says matriculate the ball down the field. Maybe I'm taking a shot at Emmitt Smith, is going to also stand where the defensive safety person would be. It's the same thing on the same stage every time, everywhere. It's getting to a point now where you can wake up on Sunday and before you walk the dog, make breakfast, feed your baby, whatever it is, it'll be like 7 a.m. like ESPN presents the pregame show. At 8 o'clock, it's the pregame show, followed at 9 by the pregame show. It's just the same. At this point now, don't even bother. Just go straight to the games and forget the rest.
Yeah. Also, hey, if any mainstreamers are out there, just give us a highlights package. After the Sunday's action, just show us highlights from every single game. I want to see every touchdown that's scored. Red zone is the only thing that does this well. It's ridiculous that I just want to see what happened in the games. I don't need your commentary. I don't need you guys laughing over it. I just want to watch highlights. I want to watch the touchdowns. I want to watch turnovers. I want to see how the games happened if I didn't catch all 3 hours of action.
Like if you used to watch before it went to Showtime, I used to love watching Inside the NFL on HBO. I don't have a Showtime subscription. I wonder where I get Homeland from. Hey, BitTorrent. Oops. Inside the NFL is a great show. But not for the one-on-one, okay, we used to play against each other on the field, Matt, and now we're going to debate topics, brought to you by Generic Host.
Who is the most elite quarterback? Is it Tom Brady or Peyton Manning?
What are you going to say?
I'm going to say Peyton Manning, so you have to say Tom Brady.
Funny.
We can't agree. We have never agreed on anything ever.
But like you could just on Sunday morning, if I just woke up and they just cleaned the entire slate of all the talking and just showed us those NFL film highlight slow-mo, like with the NFL Films music, you could just play the NFL Films channel. I would just watch.
It's like methadone.
Oh,
Methadone for my off
exactly
season.
what it is. Oh, it's so good.
While we're talking about mainstream NFL coverage and how it's not up to snuff compared to the rest of the sporting world on the internet, I want to talk about this. This just so happened. Spencer's article happened to happen the exact same day that Rick Riley published a poem about the Jets quarterbacks.
I apologize to anybody with a sense of style, prose, narrative, or who knows what iambic pentameter is, because this is as much a poem as the two of us are broadcasting professionals.
And I want to read this. I'm going to read this to you. And if you have not gotten it, it deserves to be read out loud because this is art. QB or not QB? That is the question. Who should the Jets start? Who should the Jets shun? That question and shun rhymed.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dealt a hand of 5, none of them a king. They have to find one. Can we redeal this thing? They cut Tim Tebow a big deletion, 20 mag covers, 6 completions. Tim was just voted most influential. Whoever they asked must be demential. They could start Sanchez, but fans would grumble. His most famous play is the butt fumble. All right, points for including butt fumble.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I'll give you credit for that. Rex Ryan's seat is hot. Mark's been killing him. What hurts worse is he makes $8 million. Killing him million?
That's like a Fugees verse.
Yeah, sure. I'm supposed to be rapping it, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to drive this thing. I'm going to take this plane's going all the way into the ground.
But the crowd wants more, Matthew. Continue, yes.
They picked Brash Gino, who's a bit of a diva. He says he'll behave, but who's a believer? How is Geno Smith? He's not. He's never been a diva at all, ever. Like I just made that up to rhyme.
But yeah, but he even misappropriated. He made it believer. So that's either from Massachusetts or with street cred.
Believer.
Dude, he's a wicked believer.
Smith doesn't listen. He'd much rather text. Try that in meetings. His phone will get wrecked.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's just keep going. What about David Garrard? He stands tall among men, but hasn't thrown a pass since 2010. 2010?
Mm-hmm. I would go 2010.
All right. Garrard was a jag who never flew high. Guess JAG means just another guy. Sick burn.
It's not Judge Advocate General? Damn.
Then there's McElroy, the ex-Bama gun. Has a hot girl too, or is that the other one? Ugh. Matt Sims has good genes, but his hope is slim. Coaches over 40 rarely play The Sims.
The game where my robot the housewife and
there's a double meaning. The Sims is a game, but also there's more than one Sims who's been a quarterback.
That was meta.
Yeah. If the Jets were a car, they'd need a loaner. Is it possible to fire the owner? Oh God. Two more stanzas and we're out of here.
You can do it.
Not much of a group, but Rex says, compete. This will be less fun than looking at feet, because he likes feet.
Oh.
Let the battle start, though the talent's thin. But wait, what happens if nobody wins?
And this has been Jet's View from the Stanza, performed by Matthew Ufford.
I've never felt worse about myself than I do at this very moment.
6 to 7 times, I thought I was going to have to ask the flight attendant, for an air sickness bag. That is, you know what that is? That is printed Epicac. That is internet Epicac. That is the biggest steaming pile. Rick Riley was once a lauded and revered sports reporter who wrote great features. We all used to run to the back of the last page. We all used to run to the back.
I
of
love the
Sports
back page
Illustrated.
of SI. Back
Life
in
of
the
Riley
day.
was great.
I grew up with that.
I was saying earlier, everyone's two favorite back pages of magazines were the end of Mad Magazine and Life of Riley. We loved him. And then suddenly, when ESPN poaches him 6 years ago, he gets this idea in his head that he needs to be like, I know what I need to do. I need to continue to be me, but I kind of have to also be a little bit Bill Simmons and speak to the younger generation and prove that I'm a worthy comedic foil for this entertainment sports programming network. And he's just completely lost his way.
I feel like he was already losing his touch. He'd gotten so used to the 800-word back page column that and recycled enough teeth jokes over the years that that I feel like he was already on the downslope. But what's upsetting for me as someone who writes about the NFL is like, is that what I'm like? I'm already like, I'm not saying like me and McRiley are the same person, but there's a genuine concern that like, am I going to be that out of touch with what's good when I'm his age? And that terrifies me. Like, will people 20 years younger than me just laugh at me for being a complete like chump?
Chip Kelly has recently banned Taco Tuesday, while down in New Orleans the fans chant "Who Day." Cut to Rick Riley. Yes, yes.
Nailed it.
White cat, unfiltered French cigarette, stub, scotch.
Oh, I was not prepared for that. That was awful.
Winning in the NFL will take lots of planning, just like with the people who direct commercials acted in by Manning. I should have, again, I always go one too far.
Yeah.
I should have stopped. I peaked at Who Day.
You did,
because I found Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, no, that was great.
God, that is the story of my life. This is so bad. This makes me like, can you put a term or phrase or even a character to who you feel like when you read something on the internet and it makes you so mad, you're just like, oh, F you. No, that like I feel like it's like Hulk rage. Like you read this and you're just like, I can't believe.
Yeah, I try to I tune that stuff out. Like
you have to.
Like Peter King's Monday Morning Quarterback. I know if I read that, I'll just get mad with this stuff. So I just don't read it. Same with like Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk. Like again, like there are people that's what they turn to. That's the mainstream stuff that Spencer Hall is basically saying sucks, and I just tune it out. I just tune it out. But there's stuff that drives me insane every day. It's the internet.
I talked to Sean Payton from my usual Starbucks after watching the Red Sox game. Oh God, kill me! Stop. Okay, look, you came up the ranks of. With Deadspin and Kissing Susie Colbert, which is obviously the funniest football website out there. Like, why isn't it? Yeah, it's everybody reads it, everybody loves it, and I think a lot more people than are able to admit to mainstream media or in the press can admit that they also really, really enjoy those sites. Why aren't we just allowed to publicize that those are the takes? Those are the ways and means that we actually like going about our football and our sports entertainment.
I don't know. I think at a certain level, you have to blame the audience. Like some of it has to be the audience's fault. Like in college football and the NBA, fans have pushed back, and I mean, like these are the outlets that we want. Mm-hmm. And if the NFL fans wanted more, there would be more creative sites popping up. There would be better writers coming up, like. Trickling up through the little blog ranks, the meritocracy that happens, and I don't know why there hasn't been more of it. Like, so seriously, NFL fans, get your ish together, man. Bring it up. Start your own blog because we need more. There need to be better voices. About the NFL.
There need to be more of them. And you know what's going to happen is that the NFL Network or some place is going to get it. They're going to listen to this podcast or they're going to read the stuff that you guys put out. And
yeah, that's a good one.
Tell me another one, yuckster.
Please continue.
Yeah, they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, oh. So then they're gonna do their version of this, which is gonna be like the irreverence of the Rich Eisen podcast, brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Like they're gonna talk to people that work on comedy programs, and like they steal upward. That's what I think. That's what you just said. Like they what did you say a second ago? People need to get hired upward or whatever. Trickle upwards. I like that phrase. Those places, they'll burgle upwards. That's what happens.
They co-opt the talent.
They co-opt, exactly. And then they'll have like their blog-centric show, and they'll all think they're very progressive, and then they'll all go sit down in their little control room and eat their unicorn steaks and feel so fantastic because they're the NFL.
Yeah. We've talked about just about everything. I want to go to, let's end on a light note.
Oh, is it the Viking Stadium?
It's the Viking Stadium. This is our fumbler segment.
Yes.
Ooh, segments. It's always fun. I guess we're not getting graphics today, but let's Mike.
No graphics? I was promised graphics.
Let's we have a picture of this the proposed Viking Stadium. Let's see if we can cut to it. I guess we don't get to see it on the monitor. Oh, well, this is.
Let's all. You know what?
Oh, it's up. We're not getting on the graphic on the. Okay, well, so
let's enter the realm of our imaginations, football friends.
Did you see the picture of it?
Yes.
What does it look like to you?
First thing that came to mind, no joke. It looked like one of those. It looked like a glass and steel version of the sand crawlers that the Jawas drive into the desert to sell robots to people on Tatooine.
Did you see the Photoshop on KSK?
No.
I'm going to show it to you now. There it is.
Wait,
there.
That actually happened?
That's a real thing that happened, courtesy Sarah Sprague of Kissing Susie Colbert.
No way. That's fantastic.
Yes.
So I was. Yes. Look, here we are. The sports, we are of like mind.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. It's exactly what it looks like.
If you wish it into creation, it can be photoshopped, sir.
It's so funny. Like you see, like all these other generic looking stadiums, like this, like they're all going to be like Lucas Oil Field, a slightly like we put brick into it. It's got native materials. There's reclaimed steel and wood. It's a native environment. Like, no, give me this creepy sci-fi looking something that either could say that it comes in peace, is going to suck the natural elements out of our planet, or people like Tom Cruise will go into prey on when they're not playing football games. I want my structures creepy, weird, and progressive.
I would also, if it was actually on huge treads and could travel around the state of Minnesota. We're taking this home game on the road.
Well, how'd the Vikings do today? They lost 24-17. Damn Ponder with his licorice arm. Oh, that would explain why the stadium is currently downtown blowing everything up. Or what if it just extended onto three legs like the tripods in War of the Worlds? Like, sure hope the Vikings win today. I can't stand to see any more ash people in the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I would appreciate that.
To think that...
hard to get public funding for the for the stadium as also distractor force.
All right, so just hear me out here, Bard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a stadium in downtown Minneapolis. Okay, it's gonna be right across from Target Field, and it's gonna look like partially like a space rocket crashed into Minnesota. And we're just gonna put huge pictures of Adrian Peterson all over it.
It's gonna have glass openings to allow for natural light, and also the ray gun cannon.
and also the cannon, the ion particle cannon, which will allow the rebels to get away from the Death Star as we flee planet Hoth.
Oh, man.
Can I just always work in one Empire Strikes Back reference in your show?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciated you allowing me to do that.
I think this is a good time to sign off. I'm really bad at signing off. I've been trying to work on this from week to week, and every time it's just a long, extended, hey, you subscribe on iTunes and watch every week, and follow Nick on Twitter at Ahoy Nick Stevens, and me at Matt Ufford, and at SB Nation, and follow everything on Twitter. And it just goes on for minutes and minutes and minutes, and people are like, is the show ending? Or
wow, yeah. But I like the fact that you call it out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm very aware of my many weaknesses.
But your weakness is strong.
Thank you, sir.
Wasn't that song on Chip Kelly's playlist? My weakness is strong.
Stronger.
Earlier in the show, you did some nice segue work.
Thank you.
So you're working on your segues and transitions. Big plus in the broadcasting world.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you can continue to work on your segues, transitions, your intros and your outros, your throws, teases, and tags, one day you might just crack the broadcastosphere and be a part of the NFL broadcast illiterati.
Great. And then I'll step out of a 12-story window.
And then I'll just treat myself like my stock market crashed in 1927.
Folks, if you ever see me wearing khakis, a button-down shirt, and a navy blue blazer, you have my permission to stab me right in the liver, where I need it most.
Just to drip, but you just fill it with scotch and happiness later.
Same thing. If I'm on a studio show and they have put me in a suit, and you can see the life behind my eyes has been extinguished. Do me the favor.
If I ever see you sitting in a red or brown leather Barca lounger doing an argumentative he said, she said, PTI style segment on Jim Rome's show, I will know to greet you outside that studio. I will put you in that Viking ship and I will burn you at sea.
Meet me with a cinder block in your hand and then put it through my skull.
I will. Here's this. I can't promise you much in this life, Matt.
Okay.
But if you ever appear on NFL Live on ESPN and you run one of those like, now let's get the blogger's point of view on this current play that we run, sponsored by IBM, Coors Light, and Dockers, I will give you the Joe Pesci casino-style cornfield baseball bat beating that you deserve.
Wow. Well, I was hoping to go a little bit quicker than that, but all right, I'll take it. Hey, next week I'm going to be traveling. There's no Uffsides, so really listen to this one several times over the next couple of weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching/listening. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.